Mr. Soprano?
Yeah.
25 years ago today, we were introduced to The Sopranos, a television series that changed the landscape of television forever. It's a television series that many regard as the single greatest television series ever produced and written. In 1999, we were introduced to television's first ever anti-hero in Tony Soprano, a New Jersey mob boss who struggles with mental health, anxiety, depression, and maintaining his strained relationship with his mother, all while running a criminal organization in the DeMeo crime family. And on top of all of this, he also tries balancing all of this with his own personal family, where he is a husband and a father. Throughout the history of film, there have been plenty of anti-heroes that sparked the character of Tony Soprano. From Travis Bickle of Taxi Driver to Patrick Bateman of American Psycho to Michael Corleone from the Godfather trilogy. And the significance of Tony Soprano led to other infamous television anti-heroes that we all know today. Characters such as Walter White of Breaking Bad and Dexter Morgan of the Dexter franchise. And with shows like Friends, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Home Improvement being immensely popular. So for The Sopranos to introduce a mafia boss and a family man all at the same time was a game changer for television. But this infamous college episode changed television forever due to the episode's plot and development. The episode begins and focuses on Tony and Meadow's trip to Maine to look at colleges. The episode before this, Meadowlands, showcased Tony's children secretly discovering who their father really is, as Meadow tells AJ all about her father's other family.
Why do we call him Uncle when he's not even related? He's in Dad's other family.
So in this follow-up episode, we can see that the mysterious background of their father is still casting a shadow above the heads of Tony's children. As while on their road trip, Meadow shockingly asks her father if he's in the mafia.
Are you in the mafia?
Am I in a what?
Whatever you want to call it. Organized crime.
The episode focuses on the exact synopsis of The Sopranos. Tony trying to balance his family life with his mafia life. While stopping on their road trip, Tony spots an old rat by the name of Febby Petrulio, who betrayed the oath of the mafia by turning to be a government informant and testifying against friends of Tony's. While Tony knows he must seek revenge on behalf of his mafia family and friends on Petrulio, he also tries to do this while hiding his daughter away from the harsh reality that is her father. Being the rat that he is, Petrulio manages to slip away, but not without Tony getting a hold of his license plate. This episode is so significant to television and to The Sopranos because it showcased to audiences and to Tony's daughter Meadow who her father really is. That behind all of the birthdays, graduations, and Sunday dinners lies an evil murderer and a mob boss. Throughout the episode, Tony and Petrulio play the classic game of cat and mouse. The two secretly dig up information about each other while tracking one another down. We watch as Tony tracks Febby down and vice versa, as the two have chances to kill one another, but each time there's civilians standing in the way. The two know they're getting close to that inevitable meeting, and Febby knows that Tony is possibly after him when seeing his name on a motel check-in sheet. But ultimately, Tony has the final laugh and say when he tracks Febby down and shockingly kills him by strangling him to death. It's at this very moment where Tony Soprano cemented himself into television history by showing the world that an anti-hero can exist in television too. That you can have a series' main character be the villain and the hero all at the same time, and in this very case, have the series' protagonist be a murderer. After the murder, Tony sees a group of ducks flying above him. And of course, we all know Tony's fascination with ducks that took place throughout the entire series. But this was mainly highlighted during the first season, as the ducks symbolize Tony's family and how he's afraid of losing his family thanks to the stressful positions that the mafia puts on Tony throughout his life. As he perpetually faces this moment, ironically with his family in the series' final episode during a dinner with his family at Holston's Diner. After this, we get this tension between Meadow and Tony as the two open up to one another and gain trust within one another. with Meadow openly telling her father that she did drugs and Tony reluctantly admitting to Meadow that he's associated with the mafia, as Meadow knows her father has done something wrong and there's nothing she can do about it or nothing she can do to stop it, as this is very similar to the relationship that Tony has with Carmela, as Carmela knows who her husband truly is behind the family man that he is at home. The episode was ultimately the beginning of everything for The Sopranos and television. It opened new doorways for the series' writers and directors and showcased to audiences the future of Tony Soprano. It captivated the hearts of millions of Americans during difficult times in the United States, with wars, a bad economy, and the 9/11 terrorist attacks, all lingering over the heads of Americans. The Sopranos acted as a sense of relief for millions of Americans every Sunday night. It transcended television by focusing on topics that had never before been seen on television. Topics such as depression, anxiety, mental health, murder, and suicide. At a time in the world where visiting a therapist and focusing on your mental health was frowned upon, The Sopranos made prioritizing your mental health more acceptable and relatable, as this resonated with younger audiences, especially to those who recently discovered the series during the 2020 lockdown. In many ways, The Sopranos displays the iconic representation of the American dream. We see this throughout the series, but mainly in the series' pilot episode and final episode as well. Ironically, both of these episodes were directed by David Chase. And while almost all of us cannot relate to being a mob boss like Tony Soprano, the show itself is more relatable than ever. And this is all due in part to Tony struggling with his mental health, depression, anxiety, his weight, his struggles with his family and friends, all make the series and the character of Tony universal, as the series has seen a resurgence over the last few years and has been more relatable than ever. It showed the problems of everyday life and how one day you could be on top of the world and the next day you could be at rock bottom. Without The Sopranos, we wouldn't have the series that we know today. There wouldn't be a Dexter, Breaking Bad, Gravesend, or a Tulsa King, as this single episode of The Sopranos changed television forever and was the beginning of the golden age of television that we know today. Why do you think The Sopranos changed television forever? Was there a certain moment other than the episode College that changed television? Let me know down in the comment section below. And for more Sopranos content, keep it locked here, right here on this channel.